Begin today laying onto your back. And as you get comfortable, you can extend your legs down so that your feet come to the bottom two corners of your mat. Relax your arms down by your sides and turn your palms to face up. Softening your gaze or closing your eyes. And just for a moment, emphasize a sense of settled groundedness. Soften all the places where you touch down on the floor. Settle into that powerful pull of gravity, relaxing your muscles, relaxing the weight of your body into that powerful pull of gravity, rooting you down into the earth. And begin today's practice by, in general, nourishing conditions that allow your attention to have traction in your being. So one of the most powerful forces within ourselves that we can utilize besides gravity is attention in our yoga practice. So as you lay here, resting into the earth, open to the passing of thoughts through your mind, notice how your thoughts rise and fall, much like your breath as it moves in and out. And begin where you are, whether you're brand new to yoga or whether you've been practicing and are just looking into refining your attention or your practice in this particular sequence today. Welcome all the parts of you into your practice. The parts that feel resistant, the parts that are open. And you can stretch your arms up, take a full body stretch, resting into the earth, stretching down through your legs, stretching up through your spine and your arms. And then reach your arms vertically up out of the shoulder sockets. Imagine you're holding a beach ball in between your hands and squeeze the beach ball, but relax your chest muscles. Now reach the beach ball up and over your head, engaging the legs here to help give you traction, to lengthen your spine more, like you're moving your feet and your hands apart. Stretch long, and then exhale, release your arms down by your sides. And you can bend your knees and hug your knees into your chest. Hands can grab in front of the shins, hands can grab behind your thighs. You might rock a little bit here. And then cup your hands over your knees. And as you inhale, push the legs away. The legs are passive. That pushing of the legs away, straight arms. And then as you exhale, pull the knees in again. So really emphasize as you inhale that pushing through the arms. And as you exhale and you draw the knees in, there's that pulling effect. Inhale, straight arms, press the knees away. And exhale, pull the knees in. Inhale, push the legs away. And exhale, pull the knees in. Let the arms do most of the work. Inhale. Exhale, chest stays soft. Inhale. And exhale. Now drawing your right knee into your chest, centering the weight as you extend your left leg down on your mat, grabbing behind your right thigh and drawing your right knee towards your right shoulder, your right armpits. Breathing into the thigh, then moving the knee away, and we'll come into a spinal twist, crossing your right leg across to the left. Cactus your right arm out to your right, and look over to the right as you cross your left knee over to the left. Create a little bit of energy down through the left leg, up through the spine as you inhale. And as you exhale, really feel your rib cage turning towards the right side of your mat as your pelvis turns towards the left side of your mat. Take a few more breaths. And then come back through the center again with the right knee. Setting your right foot down inside of your left leg, and then opening your right knee out into your right. If you're tight in your hips, you might tuck a prop under your right knee as it opens. Place your right foot inside of the left thigh or below the knee on the calf. Bring your hands through heart center. Engage through your left leg. Press the right leg and left leg into each other, and then get a little longer through your spine. Breathing into this shape, all the parts, whatever comes up for you. And then bringing your right knee back up. Hugging your right knee into your chest. And this time, interlace your fingers behind the right thigh, closer to the hip than the knee. Extending up through your right leg now as you press the leg into your hands and pull on the back of the leg with your hands. Relax your upper back, relax your shoulders. Keep a little energy down through your left leg. It's okay if the right leg quivers. Flex the ankle so you get a little calf muscle stretch here as well. Just breathing into the sensations through the back of the leg as you stretch it. Extending the right leg down next to your left leg, stretching long, full body stretch here. And then drawing your left knee into your chest. You can grab behind the thigh or in front of the shin, but you're pulling the left knee towards the left shoulder, towards your left armpit. Taking a big breath into the top of the thigh. Stretching down through the right leg. And then you can move the left knee away from you a little as you take your spinal twist. Left leg crosses over to the right. You can cactus your left arm out to your left and look to the left as the pelvis turns to the right. Stretching down long through your right leg, up through your spine. Really sensing the rib cage turning towards the left arm, towards the left side of your mat. Keeping your attention within the sensations in your body, within the passing of thoughts, that ebb and flow of your breath. The left knee comes back through the center. And then this time we'll set the left foot down. Again, you can use a prop under the left knee as you open the left knee out and to the left. Pressing the left foot into your inner right thigh or your inner right calf. Hands come in front of the heart. Engage down through the right leg, extend up through the spine, and really feel your left foot and your right leg pressing into each other to help open through the inner left thigh. Finding some steadiness here, breathe. Utilizing that powerful force of gravity to help you feel grounded. Bringing the left knee up again. Bringing the left knee into the chest. This time we'll interlace behind the left thigh. Again, interlace closer to your hip than to your knee so we don't hyperextend the left knee here. Flexing your left ankle. Again, it's okay if the left leg quivers a little bit as you breathe into the sensations through that stretch in the back of your left leg. Little bit of energy down through your right leg. As best you can, relax your shoulders, relax your chest. Keep welcoming all the parts of yourself. Bending the knee again, and then extending down long through both legs, up through your spine and arms. You can hug the knees into your chest and take some rock and rolls here. Rock and roll, massaging your back body. Maybe you take one more rock. And then you can make your way up through hands and knees. Bring your hands under your shoulders, bring your knees under your hips. Spread through the fingers, root down into the palms. Attention where your hands touch down, center the weight. As you exhale, drop your tail, drop your head, draw up into your belly. As you inhale, do the opposite. Lift the gaze, lift the tail, open your chest. And start to flow it dynamically. Inhale, wide and bright across the chest. Exhale through that Halloween cat-like shape. Inhale and exhale, navel to spine. Inhale and exhale. This time you can settle your belly back onto the thighs. Let your butt drop back towards your feet into child's pose. Toes are untucked. Hands can rest under your forehead. You can keep your arms forward or relax your arms down along your shins. Settle back into that sense of groundedness. As you exhale, letting the upper body drape over the low body. As you inhale internally, creating a little bit of space, length, up through the spine. Again, nourish the conditions that allow your attention to have traction in your body. Relax your chest as best you can. Relax your pelvis, relax your legs. Eventually, you can reach your arms towards the top of the mat. Allow the arms to create that emphasis of length through the upper body, through the underside of the arms. You can press into your palms, center the weight over your palms, and engage your arms so your elbows lift up off the mat. And as they do, relax the top line of your shoulders, and eventually come back up through your hands and your knees. Curling your toes under and walking your hands and your feet towards each other until you're in a forward fold towards the top of your mat. Hands come to your shins, push off your shins, pause, halfway lifted, centering the weight over your feet side to side, front to back, engaging the legs so you can find more length through your spine, from your belly to your chest. Then exhale, fold and grab opposite elbows as you let the weight of the arms and the head drop. Give yourself a generous bend in your knees. So versus straight legs for now, prioritize a sense of centered groundedness over your feet. Just a couple more breaths here. Relax your jaw, relax your throat. Continuing to welcome all the parts that are tight, the parts that feel a little more open today. Releasing your arms, hands to shins, halfway lift. Inhale and exhale as you fold. Inhale, stand all the way up. As you stand up, extend your arms up over your head. Come back to holding that beach ball over the head, and then exhale, release your arms down by your sides. Standing tall in mountain pose, Tadasana, mountain pose, really one of the most important postures we do in yoga, teaching us to stand strong and firm. teaching us to not only root into the floor, but to rebound up out of gravity and to stand tall through the spine, light across the heart. Find a little more steadiness as you inhale, stretch the arms up over your head. Imagining that beach ball that you're holding above the head, squeeze the ball, relax the top line of your shoulders, keep the leg muscles firm. Releasing the arms back down along your sides. And then bending your knees. As you bend the knees, shift weight back into your heels. Center the weight over your feet again. Hands come to the back hip points. Drop down in that spot. And then bring your hands to your front hip points and lift up through the front hip points. Hands come out in front of you. There's that beach ball again. You're squeezing it. The chest is soft. The legs are strong, like you're grounded from your pelvis all the way down into your feet. Maybe you sink a little lower and then release, extending the legs again in your mountain pose. We'll make this dynamic now. So as you inhale, extend the legs. As you exhale, bend the knees and sit into your squat. Exhale, inhale, stand up. Again, exhale and inhale, stand up, keeping the weight centered over your feet. Bringing the hands back to your hips. Opening across the chest a bit here, maybe even turning your gaze up. And as you exhale, fold over the legs, releasing the head, releasing the arms. Inhale, lift up halfway. And then bend your knees a little bit as you exhale and fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. This time bend your knees and step your left foot back. Dropping your left knee, bringing your hands to your right thigh and coming upright. Adjust your legs. You don't want to be on a tightrope, so move the feet, the legs more like train tracks, width apart. The back toes can be tucked or untucked. Weight is centered over your front foot, knee over the ankle. Bring your hands onto your back hips. Feel that sense of the back hip points dropping down. Move your hands to your front hip points and lift up and out of your front hip points. Now reaching the arms forward, finding that beach ball out in front of you, and then inhale, take the arms up in your low lunge. Imagine your left hip driving forward. Imagine your right hip pulling back. The inseams of the legs hug into the midline. And on an exhale, you can release the hands down. Shift the weight into the right foot and step forward, halfway lift. And exhale, fold again. Halfway lift, bend the knees. This time step your right foot back, drop the right knee, and bring your hands onto your left thigh as you come upright, situating the back knee so it's comfortable, situating the front knee over the heel or over the ankle, widening your stance, lessening your stance as needed here. Hands come to the back hip points. Feel the back of the hip points dropping down. Bring the hands to the front hip points and lift up and out of your front hip points. Good. Legs stay strong. Arms reach out in front of you like you're squeezing that beach ball in between the arms. And as you're ready to, reaching the arms up. Strong legs, promoting that sense of lightness in your upper body. Breathing as a means not only to keep your attention here, but also to welcome all the parts. Stepping your right foot forward, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold again, weight is centered over your feet. Inhale as you rise, reaching your arms up above your head. Exhale, hands come together in front of your heart. Step out to the side of your mat now. Wide stance, feet face the long edge of your mat. And then turn your right toes to face the top of the mat. Adjust your left toes, still face the side of your mat. As your hands come to your hips, really turn your upper body, your pelvis, your chest to open towards the left side of your mat. As you lunge into your right knee, keep your left leg nice and strong and straight. Make sure that the right knee stays pointing over the middle of your right foot. Hands come to the back hip points. You can feel the back hip points drop down again. Hands come to the front hip points. You can find that lift up and out of the hip points. Now bring your hands to your left hip crease, the back hip crease. Feel that hip crease drop down. Bring your hands to your front hip crease and lift up and out of that hip crease as you reach your arms out into a letter T for Warrior 2 position. Virabhadrasana 2 in Sanskrit. The gaze is over your right middle finger. There's that sense of strength in the legs. Weight is still centered over your feet, side to side, front to back. Hands come back to the hips. You can straighten the right leg, bend into it again. Do that a couple more times. Bend into the knee, extend the leg. One more time, bend into the knee, open the arms. In your Warrior 2, find some steadiness here. And then extend the leg, pivot the toes towards the side of your mat. Setting up for the left side, turning your left toes towards the back of your mat. Right toes angle towards the side of the mat. And as you bend into your left knee, track the knee over the center of the toes. Think third or fourth toes. Make sure your knee is directly over your left heel or your left ankle. The back leg, the leg is strong and straight. The weight centered over the feet. Hands come to the back hip points, drop down. Hands come to the front hip points, lift up. Hands come to your right hip crease. The back hip drops down a little bit. Hands come to the front hip crease, lift up and out of that hip crease as the arms reach out for Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2, left side. The pelvis is level side to side, the legs are strong, and that's what gives you that ability to rebound up through the spine and open the chest towards the right side of your mat. Steady your breathing, unclench your jaw, unclench your shoulders. Hands come to your hips. And again here, you can extend the left leg and then lunge into the knee. Do that again, extend the leg, lunge into the knee. Keep that back leg strong and straight. One more time, extend the leg and then lunge into the knee. Extend and lunge. This time hold in your Warrior 2 as the arms reach out to a letter T. The legs are strong, so the upper body can feel light. Turning your left toes towards the side of your mat again. Pausing. And then folding forward here. The big toes might turn in slightly. As you fold, you can grab your shins or your ankles. Release the weight of your head. Keep your legs strong. As if you're grounded from your pelvis down into the four corners of both of your feet. Breathing into all the parts, all the sensations that arise. Maintaining your attention. That's our main prerogative in our practice. Attention within. You can turn your toes out slightly, bend the knees, maybe a step, or you can hop your feet together. Shake out the legs a little bit. Feel the warmth from those standing postures so far. And then you can step or hop your feet apart again. Pivoting your right toes towards the top of your mat, find Warrior 2. Trusting your muscle memory this round. Gazing over your right hand. Keeping the weight centered over both feet. Now, straighten your right leg. I find I like to shorten my stance a little bit for this one. And as you bring your hands to your hips, start to lean over your right leg, and you can bring your right hand to shin or to ankle, left hand on the hip. Bring your left hand to your belly, and then sense the left ribs wrapping back to open the chest and the rib cage. Hand can stay on the low back, or left arm can extend up. You can gaze up towards the left hand, challenge your balance a little bit without that visual cue of the ground. You can always look down towards your right foot if you need that groundedness with your eyeballs. Breathe as you reach the arms apart, as you open the chest and the belly towards the left side of your mat. Both legs are strong and straight. It's okay to have a little bend in that front knee like I do if you need to. Bringing your torso upright, find your warrior two again, re-bend into your right knee, strong legs, and then extend the right leg, turn the toes towards the side of your mat, left side of warrior two. Turn the left toes towards the left side of your mat, open your arms, and find some steadiness here. Weight is centered over the four corners of both feet. Steady your breath to steady your attention here. Extend through your left leg, shorten your stance slightly, hands to your hips. This time we'll lean over the left leg, left hand slides down, shin, ankle. Right hand comes to your belly, and then you can imagine the right ribs wrapping back. Good, as you reach your right arm up towards the sky. The arms reach apart, the top line of the shoulders is soft. Triangle pose, Trikonasana in Sanskrit. You can have your gaze up again, you can look down towards the left toes. Relax your throat. Carry that sense of length in the spine all the way up through the neck. Both legs are strong and grounded. Attention open to all the parts. Inhale as you bring yourself upright, re-bend into the left knee, hold steady in your warrior two for a moment, and then extend the left leg, turn your left toes towards the side of your mat. This time, interlace your fingers behind your back with the knuckles on your sacrum, release the weight of the head down, center the weight over the feet again. You can keep your hands on your low back or you can extend up. Keeping that interlace of your fingers. And you might even pull the palms apart as you interlace the fingers, just to stretch in the back of the wrists here, to open across the chest. Releasing the arms. And you can heel toe your feet in, heels in, toes turn out. And we'll come into our squat pose. Squat in Sanskrit, Malasana. Now, if your heels lift, then please take a blanket or a sweatshirt like I am, and just stuff the prop underneath your heels so that they are able to settle into something, even if it's not the ground yet. Feel your inner thighs opening out to the sides. Elbows press into the inner thighs. Hands come in front of the heart. Pelvis sinking, back of the skull lifting, and breathing and welcoming all the parts. Eventually, fingertips to the mat. You can heel toe your feet wider again. Bring your hands to your hips and slowly rise all the way up to stand. Please come to face the top of your mat again. The arms can rest down by your sides. And steady yourself for a moment in your mountain pose. Don't mind me while I try to find steadiness in the sand. A little more challenge. The steadiness, grounded through the feet. Now, turn to face the side of your mat. Hands come in front of the heart. And we'll pivot our And with the hands on the hips, go ahead and pivot your left toes out to the left and then scooch the left heel towards your left ankle. Towards your right ankle. You can stay here with the tiptoes on the floor. You could slide the foot up to your calf or help the foot above the knee. We don't want to press the foot into the knee to your inner right thigh. Press the foot and the leg into each other like we practiced on our back. You're opening the pelvis. Hands can stay on the hips, hands can come in front of the heart. Stay centered over the four corners of your standing foot. The arms can extend up in your tree pose. In Sanskrit, Vrikshasana, tree pose. One-legged balance. Eventually return your left foot to the mat. Pause for a moment with both feet on the mat. And then pivot your right toes out. Right heel to the left ankle. Or right foot to your left calf. Or right foot above the knee to the left inner thigh. Pushing the foot and the leg into each other. Hands come in front of your heart. Stay centered. Sometimes picking a gazing point out in front of you can be very helpful for balance here. Possibly extending the arms up like you're squeezing that imaginary beach ball above your head. Just like in our Warrior Two pose, sense the pelvis and the chest staying open towards that long edge of your mat. Breathe. Hands come back in front of the heart. You can return your right foot to the mat. Pause for a moment, both feet on the mat. You can shake out your legs. And let's turn to face the top of your mat again. Inhale, the arms stretch up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Bend your knees, step your left foot and then your right foot back. Make your way back through all fours. And then back into child's pose. This round of child's pose, you can relax your arms down along your shins as your forehead settles on the mat. Breathing deeply. Resting back into that passive sense of settled groundedness. Each breath in, that little bit of length through the spine. Now, start to reach your arms towards the top of the mat, rooting into the palms, hugging the muscles of the arms to the bone. The elbows raise up off the mat. Lift up a little bit until you're able to curl your toes under and hover your knees up off the mat. Keep your knees bent as you press your belly button towards the top of your thighs. As you keep the arm muscles strong, the weight centered over your hands. And you can keep a bend in your knees. You can pedal out your legs or extend the legs. Let's take a few breaths here in downward facing dog pose. In Sanskrit, Adho Mukha Svanasana. In down dog, always prioritize length in your spine over straightening your legs all the way. Each breath in, the underbelly, the underside of the arms extends as you press into your hands, as you press into your feet, exhaling navel to spine. Think of lifting the tailbone, lifting the pelvis, as you drop the head, neutral and passive, in between your upper arms here. And as best you can, center the weight from your feet to your hands, and then from your hands back to your feet, just like a dog, having 4 limbs now instead of 2. Again, allowing your attention to have traction in your being as you drop your knees and lower all the way onto your belly. Hands come next to your mid-ribs. Inhale, lift up into cobra pose. The chest is bright, the legs are strong. Press into all 10 toenails into your mat. Hug the inseams of the legs in. Less using the arms, more using the torso to lift, and then release back down for a moment. Again, lift up. This time maybe pressing into your arms a little more to lift. Remember to keep your legs nice and strong, and then releasing back down. Interlace your fingers behind you, either knuckles to your low back, or you can extend the arms back, and we'll lift the chest, lift the head, lift the feet. If it's too much, set your legs back down. You can always stay here with the legs down. Otherwise, with your feet lifted, you're rooting your pelvis down so that everything else can lift up. Eventually release back down, bend the knees. You can shake the feet side to side just to give your lower back a little bit of love. Releasing the feet back down, opposite thumb on top, interlace behind your back, lifting your chest, lifting your head, lifting your arms, possibly lifting the legs. That's optional, remember. Breathing here in locust pose, in Sanskrit, Shalabhasana. Promoting strength and length in the spine. Notice how strong legs also allows you to feel a little bit more buoyant here. Eventually releasing back down and giving the legs a little shaky shake. Pressing up through all fours. And then lifting your knees and pressing back into downward facing dog pose. Breathing in your down dog. Inhale, tail lifts. Exhale, navel lifts as you root down into your hands, into your feet. Remember, prioritize the length in the spine over straightening your legs all the way. And it's okay if your heels never touch the floor. Eventually walking your hands and your feet together again, forward fold towards the top of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale, fold as you exhale. Inhale, stand up, reach up. And exhale, bring the hands through the heart. Once again, turning to face the side of your mat. We can work a little bit from muscle memory this time as we turn the left toes out and we press the left heel into the ankle or the foot into your inner leg. As long as it's not on the knee, you're good. Hands come through the heart. They can stay there. The arms can extend up. Challenge your balance. That sense of strength and groundedness from the waist down, helping to promote that rebound up through the upper body, the spine, the arms. Breathing in your tree pose. And then slowly returning your left foot down. Hands to the hips. Right heel to your left ankle or inside of the left thigh. For second round of tree, Vrikshasana, hands at the heart. Or maybe the arms extend up over your head. Challenge your balance. Again, you can find a gazing point out in front of you that isn't moving, and sometimes that will help if you're feeling a little bit wobbly. Another great necessity, standing on one leg, is a sense of humor. It's amazing what good that can do in your practice. Releasing your right foot back down. Both feet on the mat. Pausing, strong, grounded, steady in your mountain pose, Tadasana. Turning to the top of the mat, inhale, extend the arms up, exhale, fold. Inhale to lift halfway, and as you exhale, step your left foot to the back of the mat. This time, keep your left knee lifted. Left hand stays on the mat. Bring your right hand to your right thigh. Again, think more train tracks than tightrope. Widen the stance if you need to for balance. And then again, imagine as you bring your right hand to the right hip, pull the right hip back. Bring the right hand to the belly, wrap your right ribs back, extend through the upper body, possibly extend the right arm up. The arms reach apart in your revolved lunge position. Gaze can be up or down. Bring your right hand down, step forward with your left foot, halfway lift, inhale, exhale, fold. Halfway lift, inhale, bend the knees, step your right foot back, curling the right toes under. Left knee is directly over the heel. Adjust the feet so there's some width there so that you can feel balance. Right hand stays on the mat, left hand to your left thigh. Good. Adjusting the feet, weight centered over the feet. Then you can bring your left hand to your left hip, pull the left hip crease back, extend forward through the shoulders and the heart. Left hand to your left ribs, wrap the left ribs back, and then open the arm up in your twisted lunge, revolved lunge. Gaze can be up or down, the legs are strong, the spine is long as you revolve your pelvis, not your pelvis, your chest open towards the left side. Good. Bringing the hands down, step back, downward facing dog pose. Breathe. Allow your attention to have traction in your body, just noticing, where do I feel sensation? Steady breath, remaining open to the passing of thoughts through the mind. Knees drop to your mat. Inhale, sweep your right arm up. And this time, exhale, thread your right under your left arm. Left shoulder, left side of your face, right shoulder, right side of your face to your mat. You can either walk your left hand towards the top left corner of your mat or wrap it behind your back. The hips stay lifted. There's that passive sense of settled groundedness again through your right cheek, through your right arm. You should feel a nice opening through the back of the right shoulder. And a gentle twist in this one of the rib cage towards the left side of the mat. Connect the left palm again to the mat. Press into the palm. Inhale, sweep the right arm up. Set your right hand down, switching sides. Inhale, the left arm stretches up. Thread the left under the right arm, left cheek, left shoulder to the mat. Either right hand towards the top right corner, or you can wrap your right arm behind your back. Either way, find that passive, settled groundedness through the left shoulder, through the left cheek. Little lift through the tail. See if you can breathe evenly into the left and the right side of your ribs. Just taking a couple more breaths here. It's always nice to be reminded in practice of the impermanence of thoughts, of sensations, of emotions and feelings. Because whoop, and here we are. Time to come out again when you're ready. Wrapping the left arm out again, setting the left palm on the floor. Rolling over the legs, coming through seated. Then we'll make our way back onto our back again. Once you make it back, bend your knees into your chest, hug your knees for a second. Possibly even a little tighter this time. Can you hug your elbows around your knees and really compress your thighs into your rib cage and belly? And breathe into that gentle compression. Each exhale, see if you can soften the space in between your thighs and your belly. The rise and fall of the breath. The rise and the fall of passing thoughts. Tucking your chin, forehead to your knee. And then setting the head down, setting the feet down. As you relax your arms down by your sides, you should be able to tickle the back of your heels with your longer fingers. Then you can press into your feet, raise your pelvis, bridge pose. Arms can stay flat. You could interlace your fingers underneath you. Center the weight over the feet. Notice if you favor either the pinky edge or the big toe edge of your feet. Instead, center, side to side, front to back. From your pelvis, you're rooted down into your feet. You're pressing down through the upper arms. You're hugging your shoulder blades up into the back of the heart. The head and neck are neutral and passive. There's that settled groundedness again through the neck and the head. Welcoming all the parts and then slowly articulating upper back, mid back, low back, tailbone back to your mat. Walk your feet to the width of your mat. Drop your knees in together. Hands can come to your low belly. Relax your low belly. Neutralize your low back. Let the knees rest into each other. Breathe. Notice the residuals. Hands can come to your chest. And with the feet still the width of your mat, let your knees drop over to the left. Bring them up through the center. And then windshield wiper the knees over to the right. Come up through the center. Again, the feet are the width of the mat. Exhale, knees drop left. You can look to the right. Inhale through the center. And then exhale, knees drop to the right. Look left. And continue like that. Just a slow cycle of windshield wipers with the legs. Hands are on the chest. That reminder to soften your collarbones. Soften the chest. Finding this gentle movement in your lower body. And then extending the legs down on your mat. Feet flop open, arms rest down by your sides. We made it back to where we began and where we will end today together. Shavasana. Give yourself permission to rest. Close your eyes. Breathe naturally. And allow this practice of stillness and softening to nourish the conditions that allow your attention to have traction in your being. Open to the passing of thoughts. Emphasizing a passive and settled groundedness into gravity, into the earth. Bending your knees, adding some small movements. Eventually you can roll off to one side using your bottom arm like a pillow. As you're ready to use the strength of your arms, press upright. Come through seated. Sitting comfortably, hands come in front of the heart. Hands can cup over the knees, whatever's more comfortable. Closing your practice with a few slow, deep breaths. Welcoming this sense of attention. Attention in all the parts. To carry with us from our practice into the rest of our day. May we infuse attention into everything that we do as a way of offering ourself, our intentions out into our day, out into our life. Thanks for joining me. Namaste.